South Asia human geography, focusing on the major religions. Okay, so the first major religion we'll focus on in South Asia deals with this guy who is, whoa, let's go back. Okay, first major religion we'll focus on in South Asia is Confucianism. So it began in China, and Confucius is this guy. This is actually a picture of Confucius. He is an actual person. He lived from 551 to 479 BCE. The biggest followers, Confucius right now, today, Confucianism was founded in China, but today its influence is spread, or it's felt mostly in Eastern China and Korea. So this is what this illustration represents, is where we have the largest concentration of followers. It's about 6 million practitioners of Confucianism worldwide. And Confucianism is not a religion the way that you and I would look at a religion. It's not a divinity. There's not a divine, all-powerful figure. It's more of a philosophy or concepts or a belief on the proper way to live your life. So it's more of guidelines, a philosophical system on how to live your life, not a religion. For the four main Confucian values. So we're taking a look at these. Number one is lie, which is the outward signs of inward attitude, which just means it's just the procedures for the way that you're supposed to carry yourself. Number two, filial piety, which is just your primary social values, which deals with the way the most important people in society, or prioritizing people in society. And of course, according to Confucius, elders played a very important role. They were at the top in society. The only people that were over elders were the rulers, the king or queen, or the monarch at that time. Number three, co-humanity, the concept of co-humanity, benevolence, doing good things for others, virtue, being willing to sacrifice for others. C, maintaining a quality of inner power that allows you to practice kindness. And number four, most importantly, or not most importantly, but just as important, which goes back to this meme, which is to respect, have reverence for your past, and respecting your old elders. The second major religion that we'll study from this area, from South Asia and from Southeast Asia, is Taoism. And Taoism originated here in China, right around the 4th century BCE, and it's based on the writings of Laos and Zhuang. Okay, so we're looking at about 20 million followers worldwide of Taoism, most of them living in Taiwan, which is this little country. This is China, Taiwan, and China, so this will be China, this little country will be Taiwan, and it's highlighted in red here. Now, when we talk about Taoism, it literally means, the word Tao literally means the path or the way. And what it is, or the path or the way, is something that's undefinable. It's like a harmonious energy or power that goes through all living things and flows throughout the universe. It flows through all of us. If I did a poor job explaining it, do not worry about it. The actual concept of Taoism is supposed to be too large for any of our minds, for any human mind to grasp or understand. But just know that it's supposed to be a power or force that flows between all things, living and unliving. I know it sounds like I'm on Star Wars. Some of the concepts in Taoism, or the main concepts in Taoism, the first one is wui. And what that means is non-action. So Taoism is really big on having action with less action, being non-aggressive. So some of the concepts in this deals with naturalness, which means just behaving the way you want to behave instead of behaving the way that you feel that society pressures you to behave. Naturalism, which means just, of course, leaving nature to its own devices, respecting the environment, having a sense of balance and respect with the environment. The non-aggression and passive rule. And this is just the concept, or what Taoists believe is that warfare is something that is only happen when absolutely necessary, and a good ruler takes every step possible to avoiding war, to being passive, it takes a passive approach to letting its people, the nature of its people, take its course. This side The yin and the yang. This is something you guys probably see quite often when you go out to, if you watch like movies, or if you're seen just probably just being out and about. What this is a Taoist symbol, and it represents the opposite components of Tao. The yin, this part, is supposed to represent the feminine side. It's passive. The yang is the light. It's the masculine or active part. So, but when you look at the combining of the yin and the yang, it expresses the concept of Taoism, of where you have balance, and that both of these colors balance one another and they complement one another. So that's what Taoism really is all about. Equal parts balance, complementing one another, and the universe naturally. Okay, so complementing. So this is all about the yin and the yang. It's all about being in balance, two opposites complementing one another in the universe equally. The next major religion in South and Southeast Asia that we'll cover is Buddhism. Now, Buddhism originated in India, so it's actually not highlighted here. It's right here. Buddhism originated in India, but Buddha lived around the same time that Confucians lived, right around between 600 to 400 BCE. Now, Buddhist, it is a religion, but they do not believe in an unchanging soul the way that you would think about it in Christianity. They actually believe that your soul actually changes as you are reincarnated. So the process of reincarnation or rebirth is considered to be an ever-changing process, and it's determined by karma. And karma is just basically the forces of saying that the actions that you put out, you receive the results of your actions. And the goal for Buddhists is to free themselves from different worldly pleasures and pain and reach nirvana. The major sources, and this is what is highlighted, the highest percentage of practicing Buddhists in the world are in this area: Thailand, Cambodia, Myanmar. And this picture here of this guy, this is actually supposed to be a picture that represents Buddha. Looks like Buddha liked to eat, so but this is supposed to be a picture that represents Buddha. Moving forward. Now, focusing a little bit on the Four Noble Truths of Buddhism, or the four main concepts, the precepts of Buddhism. Number one is that life as we know it ultimately leads to suffering and uneasiness. And Buddhists, they were all about minimizing pain by taking away your desire for physical earthly things, and that once you gave these things up, then you would no longer feel pain, because a lot of our pain comes from our desire for things. So as you're listening to these things, just kind of keep that in mind. Number two, suffering is caused by craving or attachments to worldly pleasures of all kinds. Number three, suffering ends when craving ends, when one is freed from desire. This is achieved by eliminating all delusion. And when they say delusion, they mean things that you want, things that we think about on a daily basis that causes consternation or pain. When you think about like that job or that promotion or your grades or your money or bills, all of these things are things that we worry about that cause us suffering. And the fourth noble truth to Buddhism is that reaching this liberated state where you freed yourself from the constraints of this world and worrying about the earthly constraints, is when you reach that, the way to reach that is to follow the path laid out by the Buddha, which is who they believe is divine, which was the guy that we saw earlier. And this is just another graphic, just more of a close-up illustrating the Buddhist heartland of today. Right here, we're right in India, of course, we expect to see. And the maroonish color represents the heartlands of Buddhism. And so this is in India. We expect there to be a presence in India. Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, Mongolia. These are the places that where we see high concentrations of Buddhists. And the fourth major southeastern religion, or the fourth major South Asian or Southeastern Asian religion, is Hinduism. And Hinduism originated here in India, right around 4,000 to 5,000 BCE. And Hinduism is not really what we would think about as a linear religion that like we have experienced when you think about Christianity or Hinduism or any of the major monotheistic religions. Okay, it's a joint set of a lot of diverse traditions. It has no single founder. They're polytheistic. Hinduism is a collection of distinct intellectual or philosophical points of view, and it's not rigid the way we think about it. It's flowing, it's free flowing, it's not rigid when we think about things like Christianity. One of the other concepts of Hinduism, unique concepts, is the caste system, which is represented with this picture. And the caste system is that it separates people into different segments of society. The cow, which is represented by this picture, is sacred. In Hindu countries, the cow is sacred. It's supposed to represent life and giving. The milk of the cow. The cow gives milk so that others may live. That's supposed to represent, that represents to Hindus the ultimate form of giving. There are approximately 1 billion followers of Hinduism. It's the third largest religion in the world besides the monotheistic religions. And approximately 950 million of its followers are here in India. So some of the objectives of living a Hindu life. Hindus try to reach these different objectives of life, righteousness, and ultimately if you live this way, if you reach these objectives of life, you reach what is called nirvana, which means the ultimate enlightenment. And that is the whole part of going through your different reincarnations to get closer and closer to nirvana each time. So one of them is wealth, sensual pleasure, and liberation. Finally, liberation from earthly, liberation to nirvana. This graphic or this illustration is of women traditionally in India. They're in traditional Hindu garb. So I want you guys to notice a couple of things. This is traditional Hindu garb. And Hindu women wear sarsis. And these are traditional garments. Also, they have a distinct mark on their foreheads. They have red herbal powder. So these are some of the things that you'll take a look at when you see. Okay. So remember, highlight the answers to your homework learning targets in your notes and answer the questions in bold lettering. Have a good day. See you in class.